Snow Ghost is a realistic, terrifying story from Morocco. Today's story is from the city of Ifrane, the Moroccan city in which 14,000 people live and is the one of the oldest city in Morocco. The reason for the low percentage of its population is that it is characterized by extreme cold in the winter. It is covered by snow on all slopes of the mountain. As well as the summer is cold, Ifrane was considered the cleanest Arab city as it occupies in the 8th place according to the latest statistic from Switzerland and Britain. The beginning of the story of the snow ghost. The evidence of the story began in the winter of 2009 when four friends from one university decided to spend 7 days in the beautiful city of Ifrane. Friends were united by a love of skiing, so they prepared for the trip every day. They should have. They buy skateboard, winter clothes, and blanket because they know this is the area. It is one of the coldest places in the continent of Africa, and they didn't now forget to rent a house in a suburb of Ifrane. Friends spent the first day at home in peace, but the second day there was a friend who noticed that he had suffering throughout the night from feeling freezing cold. Although he had put many blankets on him, he discovered in the morning that he had lost all the woolen blanket. But he didn't stop much. He said to himself maybe a friend had taken it from me because he was cold. Then they all went to the snow dunes that covered the whole area, and they were all enjoying this wonderful feeling because the mountains they are like the Alps in their splendor and beauty. But suddenly they all noticed that there is a woman who appeared to them among the trees, as if she has something that frightens her when she sees them. The young man stopped before what they saw, but of them was curious to know how this woman could exist in the midst of all this snow. Why was she terrified when she saw them? So the young man, whose name was Safan, decided to go to the place to approach this woman who may need help, and when he approached the place, he finds a large cedar tree in front of him. But no one is there. Safan was riding a horse, and as he was walking, saw a piece of the covering that had disappeared from his room. But it was buried among the snow, and a large part of April. And here the young man marveled and said to himself, "What brought my covered hair? And who is this lady?" Says Safan, who told the story. On a TV show in Morocco, he was very curious to know how the cover came and who this lady was. He went deeper into the snow-covered forest and in his mind more than one question, but found nothing. And when he decided to return, saw a voice addresses him by his name and says to him, "Safan, Safan, are you still looking for me?" Here the young man turned behind him towards the sun. So the fence, a woman whose skin is gray and her face is stained with blood, and she has a knife in her hand. He adds that the woman's hair was so long that it is reached her chest, and her hair was very coarse. The thing that struck his head the most, he went on, was that it was too long. When he saw this figure, he rode the horse so that he could save himself. This was the first time Safan felt his fear. He went home and told his friend who had gathered their things and decided to come back. While they were handed over the horse to the guard, they told him what they saw, and Safan told him exactly what happened to him. And here the guard told them that this ghost of a woman who went out every day when it was snowing hard, and this woman was a poor woman who had died years ago. They was in an area close to the forest. This woman was pregnant, and on the day of her birth, she could not go to give birth in the hospital due to the harsh weather. She gave birth on her own after severe labor pains in snowy forest. But the baby died and the lady remained next to the corpse of her newborn for 3 days, until she also died, and from this day on, this woman appeared when the weather became harsh. Many residents of this city have narrated that this lady appears from time to time, especially when the winds are strong and the snow abounds, as if she wants to tell her sad story to everyone who feels the cold. The young man felt very sorry for what they had heard about this lady, especially that she had stolen blanks. One of them as if she wanted to cover her baby, who had died because of the cold and greatly, because she could not give birth to him in a suitable and safe environment for him, and because of what happened to her and her baby. Her soul becomes stuck in this place. When she and her baby died, she appeared from time to time in order to remind people of what happened to her because of her poverty.